All right, we do got another Nolan Wells update. Let's check this out. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Exposed Officer Tatum and one of Nolan Wells' friends. Now, this dude has been trained in interrogating and getting answers out of people and determining whether or not somebody's lying or telling the truth. He has some major issues with this Officer Tatum and Warren interview. Here's what he has to say.
I am a former Army interrogator, human intelligence collector. I was trained by the United States government to analyze your language, body language, posture.
Sounds credible to me.
Identify deception. I did it in the real world,
Yes.
Through interrogations, through source operations, and through strategic debriefings. I've got tons of certifications. I'm an expert at this.
You guys get ready to leave out of there, getting towed out.
Yeah.
And then where's Nolan in this situation?
Well, Nolan was, the last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
Last time he saw Nolan was 3 o'clock. That is critically important information. Right here, he's talking about when his buddy Bart pulls out his buddy Wyatt's boat. So Bart is on one boat and he's pulling out Wyatt's boat. Wyatt's boat is the one that you've heard about was taken on water and sinking. And that's why they had to leave Horn Island. I want you to pay attention to this.
To where we're out of all this, all this chaos. Because we left at 4:30 and there was still.
We left at 4:30.
Yeah.
We left at 4:30. This guy just said that the.
Hold on. I don't think I caught it. The last time I seen Nolan was at 3 p.m. He didn't say the last time the group or we as a group seen Nolan was at 3 p.m. So the last time he seen Nolan was at 3. And then also, too, isn't 3 p.m. such an odd number? Like, how did he know it was 3 p.m.? Like, was he checking his phone? Like, was he checking his phone to know the exact, right? Like, now it says, like after 3 or like certainly before 3:30. Those are estimates and time ranges. He goes 3 p.m. How? Like, how do you, like, when you was talking to Nolan, did you look at your phone and say, yeah, 3 p.m., right? Like, that seems so odd. I thought that was odd originally as well, because how did you know the exact time? How do you know the exact time you left and the exact, you feel me? Like, I don't know, like, that just seems really, 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 really odd as well to me. That just seems like really, really, really odd.
United States government to analyze the world through interrogations,
say this.
through
Again,
source operations.
I last
and
seen Nolan at 3. Watch.
I've got tons of certifications. I'm an expert.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And then where's Nolan in this situation?
Well, Nolan was, the last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
Last time he saw Nolan, important, buddy Bart pulls out his boat and one that why they.
To where we're out of all this, all this chaos. Because we left at 4:30 and there was still.
We left at 4:30. We left at 4:30. This guy just said that the last time he saw Nolan was 3 o'clock. Very specific time. Now, how did he know it was 3 o'clock? Brandon Tatum didn't ask him that. If this was an interrogation, that's a key question I would ask.
Tatum is a poor interviewer, and thank you for saying it. Tatum is a really, really poor interviewer, and so this dude is an interrogator. And the reason why that's important is because Tatum was not doing this interview to interrogate or to find the truth that we were missing. No, Tatum was doing this interview to run PR. They contacted Tatum. You think Tatum was the only interviewer that was qualified? You think Tatum was the most famous person? You think Tatum was the person with the biggest platform who was going to give him a fair chance? No, right? TMZ has been running PR for these people as well. They could have contacted anybody. They contacted Officer Tatum. Now, if you watched Jay Marie's video, she broke down the connection that Officer Tatum has to the family. So Tatum is doing this interview pretending to be this neutral, unbiased figure. Come to find out, he's connected to the family, right? Through multiple stops. So Tatum didn't do this interview as we saw, again, if you guys watch the Jay Marie video, if you haven't seen it, she provided evidence Tatum is actually connected to the family and is all through some very powerful connections. So Tatum is not doing this interview to try to find the truth or to like poke holes or to look for things. No, he's doing this interview strictly to run PR. He's doing this interview as a favor. He's doing this interview to make sure he, as a black man, can get the pressure off of these white folks that he's connected to. So this dude just exposed him, bro. He's a terrible interviewer, and he's not asking the most common sense questions that you would expect somebody to ask, which is, how do you know it was 3 p.m.? I feel like that's like, you should have asked that.
How do you know it was 3 o'clock?
And then where's Nolan in this situation?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Nolan
was, the last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
3 o'clock.
And Nolan was cradling a girl in his arms.
Yes.
Katie. Katie.
That's Katie McCormick that he's talking about. Katie McCormick said that's not true. But let's listen. This is at 3 o'clock. This happened at 3 o'clock.
And Nolan was sitting there. And the last time I saw him, I looked at Nolan, and Nolan was like shaking his head, laughing. That was the last time I laid eyes on him. But when we were leaving,
well, when we were leaving, so it would be 4:30, because he's already said we were leaving at 4:30.
Nolan was sitting by the boat.
Nolan was sitting by the boat. How do you know, Warren, that Nolan was sitting by the boat? The last time you laid eyes on him was at 3 o'clock. It's
Come on, bruh. Hold on now, bruh. Hold on. OG just, whoa. Oh my God. Oh. I don't know how I missed that. I don't know how I missed that. Oh. That's correct. How would you have known what Nolan was doing at 4:30? Y'all claim Nolan was nowhere in sight. When Katie said the last time she seen Nolan was when they was calling him over, implying that he went over to him and left her, which is why the last time she seen him was when they was calling him over. But wouldn't this confirm? Oh, how would you know where Nolan was? And if Nolan was sitting by the boat is in the water. The boat is in the water. So I'm assuming Nolan would be sitting like by the bank with at least some parts of his body, his feet, his ankles, or something in the water. So this nonsense of, man, they couldn't have possibly did it. Oh, no. This is, oh my God. Don't you find it odd that Tatum and the rest of them, they brought like out of context photos and videos of the boat leaving? See, Nolan isn't on the boat. But that don't answer them saying we ain't seen Nolan since 3 p.m. But when we were leaving at 4:30, we seen Nolan. Excuse me? Oh, no. Oh, no. This
last time you laid eyes on him was at 3 o'clock.
Oh, my God.
It's now 4:30. This is your timeline. Timeline is everything. At this part of the story, he's at 4:30.
Oh, cook him.
But he just said less than 2 minutes ago, that the last time he saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
Oh, cook
Nolan
him.
was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and
how do you know that? The last time you laid eyes, your exact words, on him was 3 o'clock. You're now talking about 4:30. Now listen what happens next.
My buddy yelled for Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving.
Now, in the interest of like honest analysis here, if they were both on the boat and he heard his buddy yelling at Nolan, not him, by the way. Warren wasn't yelling at Nolan. Even in his own story, he wasn't looking for Nolan or yelling for Nolan. And in the beginning of part 1 of the interview, he says, Nolan was like a brother to me. He was my best friend. More than a friend, though. He was like a brother to me.
Yo, I know how they're going to try to fix it. Yo, I know how they're going to try to like squeeze this as well, because he went interchange, like in between and interchange. So he went from 3 p.m. to 4:30 to back to 3 p.m., right? Back to 3 p.m. Come on, people. Yo, I'll be real. Yo, when he says with that Katie girl, you can kind of hear the resentment in his voice. Maybe I'm just looking into it too deep. When you hear that Katie girl, where you kind of like feel the resentment, like, I don't know, man. But whenever somebody gets to over-explaining, there's usually a lie or two in there, but I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think, bro. Y'all think this is, did he just misspeak? Did he just misspeak? You last seen
All right, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. There's definitely a lot going on with this case. Timelines, missing pieces. But what we do know, like you said, timeline is everything. There's a lot of missing pieces. There's a lot of lying and maybe this, backtracking. So it's going to take for all of us to really sit down and put the pieces together that really make sense. Getting left behind. If you ain't with the movement, King Davenport here. We out.